Hello and welcome. My name is Michael Porter. I'm one of the assistant program directors for the new Department of Emergency Medicine and upcoming residency program. I'm also director of the off-service emergency medicine rotation. The rotation has changed significantly since previous years, so please pay close attention to this short PowerPoint and it will set you up for success and hopefully answer a lot of questions you may have. All right, with that rotation goals, we want you to function as an emergency medicine resident essentially while you're here. So that means experiencing a wide range of acute care and pathology. Very importantly, we want you to see how the emergency department functions, which is part of the reason why we're going to have you at all three of our emergency medicine or our emergency departments, which function differently. I'll talk about that more in a bit. Regardless of what specialty you go into, most people are going to either be sending patients to the emergency department or receiving patients from the emergency department. So understanding how it works within your specialty is a big goal of this rotation. Developing rapid assessment and management skills for undifferentiated patients. It's one of the exciting things we get to do is work up patients who don't have an obvious diagnosis and have quite a few tools at your disposal to do so. And very importantly, provide compassionate, professional, and patient-centered emergency care, which is a big value to our department. All right, let's dive in. Schedule and shifts. This is probably what most people are wondering about. You're going to be receiving a link to Shift Admin. Please check your schedule as soon as possible. Downtown OU Medical Center, 9-hour shifts with 1 hour of protected time for the last hour, 6A to 3P, 2 to 11, 10 to 7. At our freestanding and admin emergency departments, 10-hour shifts with checkout at 7 p.m. We'll make sure to get you out on time. We do have an EMS shift that I'll talk about in a minute. It's swapped in for one of your shifts, so it's opt-out. So if you opt out, we're going to schedule you for an emergency department shift during that time. But if you do the ride-along, essentially you go down one emergency department shift that month. All right, attendance expectations, very important. We expect you to be on shift for the entire scheduled time. If you have any appointments or conflicts, we expect you to use those off requests to help accommodate those. If you have a home program requirement that just has a conflict with a shift that you can't work out, please let us know ahead of time so we can help you with that. Missed shifts are expected to be made up unless pre-approved, so if you have to call in sick, let us know as soon as possible so that way we can get you assigned to another shift. Shift Admin, so this is the same program that we use to schedule ourselves on the attending side. It's very good. We want you to log in as soon as you get access to it so that way you can check your schedule and check your shifts. When you get into it, you can use this program to trade shifts, which we are okay with. If you go to this schedule tab here, shift activity here, and then shift trade offers here, it will bring up a menu to allow you to pick another resident and send a shift swap request. Like we said, we're okay with that as long as you're abiding by the ACGME duty hour requirements and whatever hour requirements your home program has. If you have any questions, we can help you with that, but feel free to swap amongst yourselves if needed. All right, let's dive into sites here. Like we said, one of the things that makes our department unique is we have sites that are representative of pretty much any emergency department in the country. Downtown OU Medical Center, probably most of you are familiar with this. It's our main academic emergency department located here kind of on the west side of Presby Tower. When you come in, you can either come in through the ambulance bay and find us in the dock box here. If you're coming in from the hospital side, you'll come in from back here and kind of wander up this way to find us. Front of the emergency department is here. Edmond Medical Center, a lot of people really like working at this site. It's just kind of a fun, fast, busy community emergency department. You're one-on-one with an attending the entire time. If you come in off Bryant, off Bryant, then you go through the front entrance here and they'll direct you back to the emergency department. And then South May freestanding emergency department, this is probably one of our highest volume emergency departments. It's emergency room and urgent care, so you get to do a mix of both. It's over by Will Rogers Airport, so if you come down 44 and exit off 104th, it's about a mile just east of the interstate. And then the EMS shift, just to dive into this a little bit more, you're going to go right along with IMSA. They do 12-hour shifts that are truck-based. And when you get there, you're going to go down on Sooner Road. It's on the east side of town. Park here, and then you'll go in kind of back behind the parking there. Attire is either scrubs and running shoes or polo and khakis, whichever one you want to wear. Do be aware of the weather. If it's a cooler month or if it looks like it's going to rain, please bring a jacket, rain jacket, whatever's appropriate. You will be out in the elements a bit. Bring your ID badge so people know who you are. We also recommend bringing some pocket snacks. They tend to post up at gas stations or places to eat, but it's not a guarantee depending on how busy the shift is, so plan accordingly. And you're just there doing an observer ride, but it's incredible. EMS is a very important part of emergency medicine, very important part of the healthcare system. The paramedics love having residents with them, so we think you guys will really enjoy that. On-shift expectations, like we said, you need to have the mindset of being an emergency medicine doctor for the month, which we think you'll really enjoy. With that, arrive 15 minutes or so early, introduce yourself to the ED attendings and staff. You'll be assigned to an attending one-on-one the entire shift. Participate in checkout, departmental awareness, that way you know what patients need to be seen and what things need to be followed up on. The emergency department is somewhat similar to EMS, so we work throughout our shift without dedicated breaks, often eat while we work. So bring food, snacks, hydration, self-care items accordingly. We'll make sure that you get time to do those things, but there will be no dedicated breaks, so the better you can plan ahead, the better that will go. Patient flow and workload. So we want you to see one patient at a time and staff it with the attending. Talk about your history and physical, your plan, go over orders, things to anticipate. After that, you can go pick up another patient. We expect about 3 to 5 plus or minus active patients at a time. So that doesn't include patients that are up for discharge or up for admission. So your list may look a little longer, but that's about how many you should be actively managing. We want you, very importantly, to see a wide variety of complaints and acuities, pretty much whatever comes in the door. Don't just sit around and wait for whatever's in your specialty's wheelhouse. This is your opportunity to really see as much pathology as you can. Of course, if somebody has unstable vital signs or appears ill, please go ahead and terminate your H&P. Go get the attending, bring them back in the room, and they'll finish it with you. All right, clinical responsibilities. We want you performing focused emergency department style history and physicals. I've got a video here at the end that I'll share with you that's very good in explaining how that works. Ordering and following up on all the tests you order, labs, imaging, EKG, reassessment after medications. Discussing consults and admissions with the attending. We'll discuss consults here a bit more in a bit. But we will expect you to do that. And then doing discharge planning and instructions or admission planning and instructions with the patient. All documentation needs to be completed before leaving the shift. That's why we give you some protected time there at the end. At the freestandings in Edmond, the attending will work with you to give you time to be able to finish those up. But it's important for the handoff process to have those things done. Please review our supervision policy. All the attendings are aware of this and have reviewed it, so we want everybody to be on the same page. Since you're working one-on-one with an attending, it's mostly direct supervision, so you'll be talking about the patients in real time, doing orders together, and discussing consults and all that stuff together. Any advanced interventions, so if we're ordering CAT scans, MRIs, that kind of stuff, we want you to discuss that with the attending ahead of time. Also high-risk medications such as vasoactive drips, even narcotic pain medications, just discuss with the attending before you're ordering them. You'll be sending the documentation to the attending for co-signing. Procedures, we will definitely get you guys procedures, especially if they're within your specialty's wheelhouse, so to speak. They'll be primarily attending led, and if it's with critical patients, it may be attending performed, but we will get you involved, and like we said, we'll make sure that you have a good procedural experience. All right, consultations. We will be expecting you to make some consultation phone calls. Please discuss those with the attending first. You'll probably rehearse the conversation just so everybody's on the same page with communication. Specialty-specific consultations still must be made. So if you see a patient and you belong to a specialty residency program, say dermatology, they're not rotating with us, but we'll pick on them. Say that you see a rash that the attending would consult dermatology on, but you know exactly what it is and how to treat it. Just for consistency and medical legal reasons, we still will have you make the consultation and run that up the chain to the attending, have them make the recommendations, have those communicated back to us. Again, very important, just so that way we're delivering consistent patient care to our patients. Okay, charting. We want you using our template, which is ED Note Writer Template 2025. You can use Abridge if it's approved by your home program. It's more useful at Edmond and the freestanding than it is downtown. We don't want you using clinic note templates. It makes it confusing when people pull up the emergency department charts. Review all documentation with your attending. You'll have real-time instruction on documentation and feedback on that. And then, like we said before, assign them as a co-signer, and be sure your notes are completed prior to the end of shift. When you log into Epic, pick emergency physician as your job. And then you want to pick the right context here. So OUMC emergency, South May if you're at the freestanding, EMC if you're at Edmond, and that'll get you the right tracker board. Whenever you go to a patient encounter, this will pop up like this under those templates. Again, ED Note Writer template here is what we want you using, or the abridged version here. And if you have any questions, just talk to your attending and they can help you out. All right, learning. This is kind of a fun part of our rotation. We have didactics every Thursday morning. They're just 2 hours. They're usually fun bread and butter topics. They're at our department headquarters, which is in the service building. So if this is OU Medical Center here, it's just south of Stanton L. Young over here. It's actually an old high school and it looks just like it. So if you go in the front door and take the elevator up, we're on the north side of the building, which is to the right. As you walk out, you can't miss our department. Please be early so that way we can start on time. Like we said, these are fun, interesting topics. The goal is to kind of get you educated in some of the more unique parts of emergency medicine. The schedule will be updated by the 1st of the month. You can access the link here. It may not be fully complete yet, but you'll get to see what we're talking about ahead of time. You are not scheduled to work during didactics. So if you have a shift that starts at either 6 or 7 o'clock on Thursday, you just have to show up to didactics at 8. You don't have to be at your shift for an hour or two. And then you'll go back to shift at 10 a.m. All right, resources. Like we said, please watch this EM Thinking video by Ruben Strayer. The link's here. If it doesn't work, just Google EM Thinking video by Ruben Strayer, and it will be the first one that pops up. It's about 50 minutes long, but it does an excellent job of describing how we approach patients in the emergency department to quickly get information that will guide our testing and treatment of the patient. It's going to be different than probably what most of you experience in your specialties. Other than that, the library has some great resources in Access Emergency Medicine. I recommend this emergency medicine manual version of things because it's a little bit shorter than the full textbook. That's great to read up on all sorts of different pathology that presents to the emergency department and how we manage it. And then the free open access resources. So there's some good ultrasound resources and also some good just general resources, Life in the Fast Lane and Rebel EM. And there's more than this too if you want to go down the Google rabbit hole, but they generally do a good job of talking about more cutting edge, up-to-date research, different things that people have tried for different pathologies, so we recommend checking out all of those. All right, very important. We say culture is everything in our department, and it is. We mean that. Treat all patients with compassion and respect. It's often said in emergency medicine that we meet a lot of people on their worst day, so we want to be at our best when we do that. Again, please see patients outside of your comfort zone. We want you to see far beyond what your specialty sees. It may be one of your last chances to kind of refine your medical skills and get to use a lot of the tools that you learned in medical school. Communicate clearly and often with both consultants, nursing staff, as well as your attending. We want you to have a learning experience here. We're not here to test your knowledge. We want you to ask for help early and often. The goal here is learning, growth, and teamwork. So we want to have a supportive environment. So please feel free to ask as many questions as you can and maintain good communication. All right, any questions? Please email me or Amber. And when you email, actually email us both so that way one of us can get back to you more quickly. If you really need something, that's my cell phone number down there. Otherwise, we're really looking forward to having you. It's going to be a great rotation. Thus far, people have really enjoyed it. and we're excited about it. So like I said, please let us know if you have anything, and we will see you on shift.